One to you, and I'd urge you to pay attention because we are hoping to give you information today on a medical condition about which awareness has been slow in coming. Now, if you haven't heard the term before, let me first familiarize you with it. Dyslexia is a disorder manifested by difficulty to read, spell and write despite conventional instruction, adequate intelligence and socio-economic opportunities. And more often than not, dyslexics are gifted and intelligent human beings. However, they suffer from comprehension accuracy. And in Pakistan, one of its kind institute by the name of Dyslexics has been catering to the needs of dyslexic children from the past 25 years, and Dyslexics screens, assesses and carries out educational and psychoeducational evaluations. And joining us this morning is Ms. Mona Qaiser, who is remedial therapist with Dyslexia and has been associated with the institute for the past 20 years. Hello, good morning, Mona.
Hi, Homa.
Thank you so much for flying all the way from Karachi to be here with us.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Did I explain it right, what dyslexia, the term, what it means?
Yes, basically, I mean, the term means difficulty and lexis means language. So it's generally a difficulty with words, and it manifests itself, yes, in difficulties with reading, writing, spelling.
How would you, Mona, how would you term it differently from other similar difficulties? Because people who are not dyslexic sometimes also suffer from reading and, comprehending things. How would you assess that this is different than that?
Well, the thing is that dyslexia has to be diagnosed. It's not that, oh, my child is just having a little problem with spelling and he's dyslexic. It doesn't work like that. So there has to be a proper screening, a proper diagnosis before you label anybody. And it's different from other things like dysgraphia, which has just got to do with writing, difficulty with writing, or dyscalculia, which has got a difficulty with just math, for example.
Yeah,
okay,
that would be different.
Yeah, it is.
So, give to us the basic symptoms. How can a parent know? Because a lot of people are watching us already, and we have explained what the definition of dyslexia is. But how would you assess that? Okay, your child might be suffering from it.
Well, symptoms of dyslexia manifest as early as preschool, and that's where training comes, and we try to educate teachers about it. It can be starting from not being able to pick up rhyme, not being able to rhyme, cannot recognize the letters of the alphabet, cannot match the letters with the sound, clumsiness, fine motor difficulties. It's a host variety of things, problem with sounds. But it's not so easy to label and say, oh, my child, or mirror imaging. I've had people coming to me, kids, parents coming to me and saying, my child is writing a B for a D. Is he dyslexic? It's not like that. You can write a B for a D right up to till you're 7 years old. It's not an issue.
Right. But these children, do they speak properly? The only problem is that about their writing and reading?
They speak properly. Some might have stammering, but they speak fine. They're very articulate. They're very intelligent. Einstein was dyslexic.
Oh.
Tom Cruise was dyslexic. Abhishek Bachchan is dyslexic.
I'm glad you... George Bush.
Yeah, Sher Adil, the director in Lahore film, he's dyslexic.
Okay.
So, it doesn't mean you have normal, average and above average intelligence. It's got nothing to do with that.
I'm glad that you already took these names, so people can, take heed from the fact that you can do well.
You can do
even
very
if
well.
You are dyslexic.
We have the most amazing success cases. We have a student today who's a doctor. Very proud to say that. Someone who's a chef, someone who's actually teaching in a school. So, it's not that because you have dyslexia that you cannot go forward.
Then what I said in my introduction about dyslexia being a medical term, it's not medical.
It's not a medical term.
I thought that maybe now listening
it's not a medical term. But because it is a hidden handicap, it goes unnoticed. Till the demands on the child, writing demands on the child, say when you're in grade 3, become very, that's when they find out, teachers find out why isn't he doing it.
Okay, and that is, again, Mona, you're right, teachers need to be able to spot that as well, so they need to be trained for that too.
Yes, we have an ongoing 6-month diploma teacher training course, and a lot of our teachers, when they leave, the institute, we can't imbibe everybody because of logistic reasons. So they go out there to the schools and they're really giving back in a normal classroom situation, and also picking out those children. So that's what we need, a lot of awareness.
So obviously this term probably would be new to the people who are watching us. It's new to me as well, except for this movie that came out a couple of years back. Exactly. That is where people started to really see, okay, that this is a condition, and this happens. How many would you say in a class of 20, there's a new class, how many would you say children would be dyslexic?
Okay, unfortunately in Pakistan we don't have statistics, but the statistics I have abroad are, they say that 5 children in every class have some kind of difficulty. It might not be dyslexia, it might be something else, but they can have a learning problem. So it is quite rampant. You know, people tell me, oh, this, how come we only hear it now? You only hear it now because there's awareness.
True.
It's because of awareness, you know.
And would you say that this is totally, for lack of a better word, curable?
It's not like when you have a headache, I'll give you 2 Panadols and you're cured. But definitely, say a C grade can go to a B grade, or B grade can go to A grade in certain areas. It is all about teaching them through a structured, multisensory way. Okay.
Mona, explain to us, because I have personally also seen some students and papers in which the teacher said that when we had a verbal test with them, they knew exactly what they wanted to say. They could explain everything that they were asked. But when they started writing, it was their writing skills which was absolutely haphazard. Hodgepodge, they couldn't explain it properly, although they were intelligent. I mean, the teachers had assessed that. So why just writing?
Because when you write, there are lots of things that come into play. It's when you speak, it's just you're speaking orally, that it's just vocabulary. When you write, it's content, it's organization skills, you know, what to put before, what to put after, your thoughts, your spelling. And so when everything comes together, like you say, it becomes one big hodgepodge.
Right.
And they don't have enough. They have a lot to say, but not enough to put down. You know,
any other confusions going through their head while they are any set of instructions repeated that they can't comprehend?
Because
something like
some children also have a short-term memory problem. So if a teacher says, you know, class open to page 10, do exercise 1, finish it till 3, they're on open to page 10 and they're lost. So some children have an attention problem also.
Absolutely.
And that accentuates the situation.
That is sad, especially if that is not identified.
Yes.
I can imagine.
Yes. And you know, in a classroom of 20, you're saying most of the schools have classrooms of 30. It's a very difficult situation.
Obviously, and I can imagine the teachers wouldn't have time to actually just slow down for one child. So what happens now? Let's give us a scenario of this child who's having problems in school. Now, how will their parents or the teachers assess, or what are the signs they should be looking for? Okay, this is what is wrong with him.
Well, it's not just like I said, it's not like just one sign. Okay, there'll be a host of things. Like I say, for example, unable to read, substituting words, guessing words while reading. Reading is a huge issue, you know. A lot of bizarre spelling mistakes, you know, not being able to write, not writing enough for his, you know, age and grade level. So then we get referrals to our school, and I'm happy to say now we get a lot of referrals from schools which in the past would say there's no such thing as dyslexia. You know, we've been through a very long and arduous journey to reach where we are today.
Of course, and you are also celebrating 25 years.
We are absolutely celebrating the 25 years. And you know, our theme is against all odds. We're going up to a huge seminar in November. And also what I want to mention is that because of the expertise that we have now started going, we have been always actually now doing more teacher training for underprivileged schools also. We're going to interior Sindh, into Gharo. We're going, you know, with the Behbood schools. We do a lot of workshops so that whatever we have learned, we can start imparting and they can impart to the kids.
Absolutely. Mona, we have your mission statement here. Read Dyslexic, and we believe that anyone and everyone can learn to be independent, critical thinkers, capable of lifelong learning. Our mission is to foster learning environments that can prove it.
Yes. Literacy for all, that's what we want. We've just now begun this program, our Angrezi CK. We are in the process of developing it, and we hope that this is going to be, you know, outreaching.
Okay, Mona, I have a couple of questions for you, and I think these questions would also be running through the minds of our viewers because everybody would want to suddenly know, you know, whether their children, what kind of problems they are suffering from, and of course they would like to rule dyslexia out as well. So we should clear these things out. Are boys and girls affected equally?
You know, normally I'll say there are a lot more boys that come to the institute, but they say that the girls, because they are slightly in class, they don't play the class clown, or they're slightly shy, they kind of get missed sometimes, you know. But no, it's not true that more boys than girls are dyslexic.
So it could be equal. I mean, it's not something that is only a boy-specific thing.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay, all right. Is dyslexia hereditary?
It can be, yes, because very often, you know, there's a gene, and it can be, usually it runs in dads. A lot of dads, when they come to see us, they say, oh, maybe hua tha.
Oh, so they but not the mothers?
Not usually the mothers.
Okay. And has any study been done on that? I mean,
they, you know, nothing has been proven. They say it could be, you know, everything is could be. There's still a lot of research going on dyslexia.
Okay, one thing, and before we go on, when they come to your institution, Read Dyslexic, what exactly do you do? I mean, what is the training that you give that suddenly...
Okay, what we do is when they come to our institution, they get screened initially to see, is it a learning problem, or could it be an ESL problem, English as a learning second language, you know, because sometimes often people come and it's not dyslexia. So we then identify, screen, have an educational or psychoeducational evaluation to determine, is this a problem? Then one teacher takes up one student and helps that child, and the lesson plan that's made is tailor-made to the child's needs. So every lesson is for that particular child, and usually the children come into our institute thrice a week after school.
Okay.
And today, mashallah, we have like 75 children in and out of the school with 20 teachers and 2 psychologists.
And how long do they need to stay there?
That's a very difficult question, because it is how fast the child absorbs, you know.
So it is...
before, you don't really see results before 6 months. There are kids there who have been there a year, there are kids there who have been 3 years. So it all
those
depends.
kids, would you say the ones who have been there 3 years, either their case was really strong or they were naturally a little slow as well?
No, we don't work with slow learners, okay? We work with average or above average intelligence. That's what dyslexia is. Slow learners then goes into a different category.
Okay.
Okay.
They have other problems.
They have other.
As well.
They will reach a threshold and then that's it.
Okay, you mentioned language here. So can dyslexia occur in all languages, or is it just because of a second or a third language?
No, dyslexia can occur in all language. We have Urdu Remedial at our center also. Children who have difficulty with that, it can occur.
So it is not because if I probably French people would think I'm dyslexic because I don't know French.
No, it's not at all like that. In fact, I'd like to relate this little anecdote about this chowkidar who used to write home to his family, and at last he brought the letter and he said, I'm writing home and no one's writing to me. We looked at it, the whole thing had been written in mirror image.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And how did that happen?
Yeah, so he was...
I feel that is almost like an art, I'm sorry.
You know, so it happens in all languages.
And is dyslexia something that can, I don't know what to say, are you born with it? Can it develop over time?
It is congenital, yes.
What's
it
that
doesn't, you can be born with it, yes.
You can be born with
and you know, there's some children who we call at risk. So if they come early, they have just certain manifestations of it which can be ironed out. So the earlier child comes, the earlier the child leaves.
But the earlier they detect as well.
Earlier they detect, yes, of course.
But you still have to give us like some symptoms, you know, of parents who are at home right now and they know that their child is going through a problem, and they would like to pick some big points that at least this child needs to be taken to an institute where at least he needs to be
assessed. I think reading is one of the biggest things. If your child is 6+ and he hasn't begun to read, or he cannot blend and he cannot put sounds together to make words, then the child has a problem.
Of course, otherwise he would have picked it up.
Otherwise he picked it up. So that for parents is, I think, one huge indication.
So it is at an early age.
Yeah, it can be at an early age.
Adults.
They are adult dyslexics also. If it's not that they aren't, they go to special schools abroad. I mean, unfortunately, we don't have them here. But a lot of adults, you know, when I talk to people, they said, oh my God, we still have that, you know. We are still facing this difficulty. So they, you know, if they have spelling problems, they use a laptop. No big deal now.
Yeah, exactly. Right? I mean, for that matter, all of us could have a little bit of that problem, but thanks to computers, we don't have to go through them. So what next? I mean, are there, you know, new studies coming out?
Always new studies. You know, we have to keep abreast with all this. because you know, go abroad, do workshops, bring material, and material is a big thing that we have to either develop at our institute or books, resources. We need to constantly be getting them.
And Mona, how about, you know, because the first thing that we remember in the recent years is that movie, and that is how, you know, we all were introduced to dyslexia, and the child in that movie at least was an artist. So is it true that dyslexic children are artistically prone and they are they should be encouraged in that direction?
We had a dyslexic who's you know, an amazing artist today, ceramics. So you know, they say a lot of architects are dyslexic, you know. So yes, and there's always, you know, one strength, and it's basically, we always say, work with the strength to the weaknesses.
Yeah, okay. Well, interesting, Mona. Thank you very much for coming here. And we are going to put up your website, Read Dyslexic, on our Facebook page, because we would like people to, you know, read up more on it and get informed.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we need, awareness, more awareness.
Thank you so much. You're doing a wonderful job, by the way. And thank you for coming here all the way from Karachi. That's Mona Qaiser from Read Dyslexic. And we are going to put up all this material so you know exactly something I think that you should definitely know more about. We are taking a very short break. When we come back, we are going to be talking about your travel destination this summer. Yes, we have decided already.